John von Neumann was born in 1903 in Budapest, Hungary. From a young age, he showed a great love for numbers and learning. He could speak multiple languages and solve very difficult math problems, even when he was just a child. His mind was incredibly sharp, and everyone around him knew that he was a genius. By the time he was a teenager, he had already started studying at the university, and he was learning things that most people would only learn much later in life. At university, von Neumann studied many subjects, including mathematics, physics, and engineering. He was very interested in understanding how the world worked, and he was especially curious about how numbers and patterns fit into everything. One of the things that made him special was his ability to understand very complex ideas quickly. He could read and understand books in many languages, including Greek and Latin, and he loved learning new things. As von Neumann got older, he started to make important discoveries. He became a professor at a university, and worked with many other scientists and mathematicians. He was particularly interested in how computers could be used to solve problems. At that time, computers were very different from the ones we have today. They were large, slow, and hard to use. But von Neumann was very clever, and he saw the potential for computers to change the world. Von Neumann worked on creating a design for a new type of computer. He realized that, in order to make computers faster and more efficient, they needed to store both data and instructions in the same place. This idea became known as the von Neumann architecture, and it is the basic design used in nearly all computers today. His work on this new way of thinking about computers helped lay the foundation for modern computing. In addition to his work on computers, von Neumann made many important contributions to other fields. One of the most famous areas he worked in was called game theory. Game theory is a way of thinking about situations where different people or groups make decisions that affect each other. For example, if two people are playing a game, their decisions affect how the game will turn out. Game theory helps people understand the best strategies to use in different situations, whether in business, politics, or other areas. Von Neumann's work on game theory helped to explain how people make choices and how they can work together or compete against each other. He also made important discoveries in the field of quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics is the science that explains how very tiny particles, like atoms, behave. This field is important because it helps us understand how everything in the universe works, from the smallest particles to the largest objects. Von Neumann's work in quantum mechanics helped to shape the way scientists think about the behavior of atoms and particles, and it contributed to the development of modern physics. Throughout his life, von Neumann worked with many other famous scientists and mathematicians. He was known for his quick thinking and his ability to solve difficult problems. His ideas were not always easy to understand, but they were always important. He was able to explain complex ideas in a way that made them easier for others to understand. His work had a big impact on many different fields, and he is still remembered today as one of the greatest thinkers of the 20th century. Von Neumann also had a big impact on the field of economics. He was one of the people who helped develop a new way of thinking about how people make decisions in markets and businesses. This idea became known as neoclassical economics, and it focuses on how people make choices based on what they want and how much things cost. Von Neumann's work in economics was important because it helped people understand how markets work and how businesses can make better decisions. Another area where von Neumann made a big impact was in the military. During World War II, von Neumann worked on the development of nuclear weapons. He was part of the team that worked on the Manhattan Project, which was the secret project that developed the first atomic bombs. Von Neumann's expertise in mathematics and physics made him an important part of the project. He helped design the mathematical models needed to understand how the atomic bombs would work. His work on the project helped change the course of the war and had a lasting impact on world history. Von Neumann also helped to create the first electronic computers. In the early days of computing, scientists had to build very large machines that were difficult to use. But von Neumann's ideas made it possible to create smaller, faster, and more powerful computers. His work helped to make computers more accessible to everyone, and it set the stage for the digital age we live in today. Despite all his great work, von Neumann was not only a brilliant scientist, but also a very kind and helpful person. He was always willing to share his ideas and help others. He worked with many people from different countries and backgrounds, and he was known for being friendly and easy to talk to. His curiosity and love for learning made him a popular figure among his colleagues, and his ability to explain difficult ideas made him a great teacher. Von Neumann's impact on the world was immense. His work helped to shape many of the technologies we use today, from computers to nuclear energy. His ideas about game theory and economics changed the way people think about decision-making and human behavior. His work in physics and mathematics helped scientists understand the universe in new ways. He was a man ahead of his time, and his ideas continue to influence people in many different fields. Sadly, John von Neumann's life was cut short when he passed away in 1957 at the age of 53. However, his legacy lives on in the many things he contributed to the world. The computers we use today, the ideas about decision-making and game theory, and our understanding of the universe all owe a great deal to von Neumann's work. Even though he is no longer here, his contributions to science and technology continue to shape the world we live in. Von Neumann's story is a reminder that one person's ideas and hard work can change the world in ways we cannot always predict. He was truly one of the greatest minds of the 20th century.